Hi, this is Pierre-Yves Delacote working at Planet Technologies. This is my 200th videos on my YouTube channel that I started over a year ago. Um, so I decided to shoot a new video to make a little tour of this channel, YouTube channel, and explain, how you can find information depending on what you're looking for. So the the name of the YouTube channel is called "To Change or Not to Change." Um, Definitely, it's around change management. I'm focusing on helping customers to put their change management program in place, help them design, strategize. But I also wanted to have some practical, um, you know, knowledge. So if you want to know more about me, you can find some information here. But let's look at the playlist. So I have several playlists. I will say the first one, if you're interested in understanding change management, is the change management one. So here, oops, here I share. Let's see the playlist. So here I share a lot of videos on what is important in change management. How do you design a plan? It's all is based on my experience, sharing some knowledge. So some is based on, um let's say, academic knowledge about understanding change management. For example, here my first video was about the bell curve to understand you know how people are usually willing to change. And I give some feedback on what I think is important when you communicate, when you educate, when you build your plan, when you work with management, because management is really important in terms of change management or digital transformation. Some some content around I think values you should embrace when you do change management, and other things about, for example, champions program, and general information about how you train in the digital transformation, how you adjust, what are the key, important quality you should have to do when you do change management, because it's not easy to do change management since you're dealing with people, and it's probably the most complicated resource to work with is people, since we all are different. So there's a little bit of psychology. Also, I give some feedback based on my experience. Sometimes you build a nice plan and you need to adjust your plan, have other tactics to make it work. So there's a lot of content. As you can see, there's 42 videos on different subjects, more global subject around digital transformation, educational subject, some feedback from my experience. Here I explain how to raise adoption, and other specific subject dedicated for managers, for example, for community managers, and maybe also when you do change management, where you uh, how do you start the change management journey with assessment. And so I will encourage you to start the journey of my YouTube channel with this video, digital transformation journey, so you can understand what is the methodology I'm discussing about, and then dig in every piece of it. Uh, Also, I focus on change management benefits for IT. I think often people in IT don't see the value of OCM, so I'll discuss that, explaining some output. And also, I think this is important to understand difference between adoption and digital transformation, because there's a lot of misunderstanding, misconception here. So that's this channel is about change management methodology and my experience, the way I work. Um, I understand that people can have different approach, but I think sharing mine with more than a decade of experience might be useful for my audience. On a more practical side, um, so looking at the playlist, uh, I think the second one, which is really popular with more than 100 videos, is focused on teams. Though here it's really a bunch of video around teams, and it's not only demonstrations but also some content. A lot of demonstration actually, but some content like, for example, how do you build digital etiquette for teams? And some content are more conceptual, when to use what, for example. Um, and a lot of content is really focused on demonstrating teams, real use case scenarios, real features. But some are, more tied to change management. So really, you can find really a lot of things. I understand that the more there is, the more it's difficult to navigate. But if you just want to see some videos, some how-to videos, here's a channel called, I have a playlist called Teams Demonstrations. So this one is really just about uh, you know videos how to, and I try to address the way I'm building this channel is basically on customer interactions. Some customers are asking me questions, or sometimes it's just because I find out a new feature and I think that it will be worth to share. But most of the time, it's customers who are asking questions how to do this, because there are real scenarios. For example, move folder from one channel to another. That was a customer who started to create a teams, created channels, and after a while they wanted to reorganize everything and move things around. So they didn't know how to do that. So I shoot a video just for that. So there's most of my videos are based on customer feedback or new features coming to Teams. It's only based on Teams. It can extend to other components, but you will find if you look at the list, there's 79 now videos. So that shows also that if you think that you know it all about Teams, you're probably either a very very strong expert. And this is just non-technical stuff. It's just how to use it. And I try to contextualize it in some use cases. Um, but there's a lot to learn. Some are really short. For example, I made short videos, a series of videos um, around Outlook, to compare Outlook to Teams, because there's some to debunk some myths. There's a series of videos about that. Um, and others are more here. For example, the social distance discussion. It's also more about my experience showing that being in a remote world, reduce the social distance. So I give some feedback on how to address it, and it's real feedback. This one is really based on I think on real feedback, real experience at Planet, at my company, how we do reduce the social distance. But also it's more, there's a lot of practical videos, how to, animate a meeting, and sometimes it's about behaviors, and I translate it into how you use the technology. Sometimes it's just about the feature. So for example, here, how to create your teams. It's more about, guidance. And I not only talk about the guidance, but I show how you do it. Um, so I think you can find really a lot of stuff. If you think there's a video I'm missing or struggling with something, let me know and I'll try to shoot a video about it. Um, so and others are more, uh, you know, globalizing some videos. For example, here are all my demonstrations. Uh, Here are videos that I think that are useful for champions. Here I globalize for whenever I talk about a tool. This video is tagging tools. When I talk about governance, which is to me key. So there's a lot of video about governance and understanding the governance, uh, trying to make understand why it's not, governance versus adoption is not really an issue. It's about dialogue. So if you're interested about, a specific topic, if it's, just about change management, more about the methodology and some experience, you can go in the change management playlist if you're more willing to understand the governance, how it works, what are the challenges, how you could do governance. It's here. Um, I share some real story here if you want. Um, I cannot share everything, but I try to share some real story because I think that sharing just abstract things is not really interesting. It's all my videos are based on my experience. And also you have the champions. I think this is also really interesting if you're trying to build a champions program to understand, how you how you build how do you choose your champions? Um, how do you build a project at the beginning so champions are well educated prior to everybody else? And some information that are helpful for champions, not only helpful to build a champion program, but also helpful for champions. So, about digital etiquette, they need to understand digital etiquette to educate their peers. When champions might need to understand how to do some community management with teams. They might need to understand what are the 10 most common mistakes when people are using Teams to help them tackle those mistakes and so on. So it's a lot of videos. I tried really to build some videos that are really concrete, really based on real life examples. Sometimes I have a little bit of fun, especially at the beginning. I was, you know, trying out things in my YouTube channel, so it evolved. I try to make things sometimes a little bit funnier than usually. I have short videos here. Uh, just if you want to, position a few words, some concept like what is Delph, what is OneDrive, what is Stream, etc., what is Word, and etc. Just to make it simple, you can, it says 45 seconds. You can see that sometimes it's more than 45 seconds, but I try to keep this framework. Sometimes it's less. So really, you should be able to find, depending on what you're looking for. And so really, what I recommend is to go into the playlist and look what topic is really interesting you and dig into the topic. Um, and really the goal of this YouTube channel is definitely not to make money because nothing is monetized. Um, so my goal is really sharing my experience, and I hope it can help a few people um, because really that's my experience. I worked at Microsoft for 11 years, 20 years ago, and I was really at Microsoft. I was surprised that people were buying, or our customers were buying our tools without, really knowing them or really using them. And I'm still surprised that people are still buying those, uh, not buying actually, they're subscribing to uh, Microsoft 365, and they're not leveraging um, the services as they could. They don't really match their challenges with the technology. So this is really why I wanted to share that, because I think that the more people are aware of doing things, or at least it can open some ideas how to do things and how to leverage the technology, and also how to, there's not all the solutions here, because, I'm not saying this is the truth. It's really depending on how people are working, and they're very different from one organization to the other. So it's really, there's also some methodology to identify, what's working the best and how you can uh, adjust your strategy, and how you can leverage technology to make people feel better about the technology, feel better about their job, mainly feel better about how they're working. Um, and I hope it's helpful. And please give me some feedback so I can enhance this YouTube channel with more content. And I hope it's valuable for you. Thanks for watching.